Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Good, the Bad, the Blank podcast. Today's episode is going to be a special one because it's been a couple months in the making, and it's probably one that I'm most excited for, aside from the horror podcast I did 2 episodes ago. But this episode is going to be about film. Anything film, anything and everything film. And I couldn't ask for a better cast to bring with me because I have two Full Sail students. They're on the bottom, and I also have my instructor for my history of motion picture class, and that was a class all of us were actually in. So why don't we go around and introduce everyone, and just give a little bit of information about yourself.
I'll go first. I'm Lori Turchin. I'm a associate course director at Full Sail University. I'm originally from Brooklyn, New York, but live in Orlando, and I also manage a film festival, the Global Peace Film Festival, and curate a film contest for an event called Fusion Fest.
I'll go next. My name's Ritchie Marcotrigiano. It's really long, but I'm an aspiring cinematographer and filmmaker. I've been doing YouTube for almost 5 years and still trying to figure out that, that success, I guess the masterpiece that I have to come up with in order to, finally gain some traction and everything. But that's who I am.
I'm Sarah Thurman. I'm probably the rookie of the group. So aspiring from square one to be a cinematographer. Full Sail.
All right, awesome. So yeah, we're all.
I think I forgot to add that I worked in the industry for like 40 prior to teaching.
Yeah. Yeah, and I have some notes here. We'll be talking about them, like our experience and stuff. So yeah, we're all Full Sail students. I believe all of us are going for digital cinematography, and I thought it would actually be really cool to have one of the Full Sail instructors on here. And since I had the idea and I met Sarah and Ritchie through the class, I thought it would be perfect to have Lori on the podcast as well. So here we all are.
Thank you, guys. I'm honored.
I've never done anything like this before, so usually I'm just holding the camera in front of my face and talking, but like this is different.
Well, everyone's told me I should have a podcast, so we'll see how this goes.
I'd listen to it.
It seems to be the consensus.
All right. So I guess this question would mostly be for Lori. Why did you get into the industry? What was your inspiration for film?
It's not really very inspirational so much as situational. I grew up in a time where what they showed on TV was old movies. And I knew I wanted to do something in the entertainment business. And a friend of mine, who I know since I'm 3, said, why don't you take Film 101? It's an easy A. And I was smitten by the film bug and have wanted to do film ever since.
That's funny. Because that's literally what happened to me.
Really?
Yeah. My best friend, he was like, hey, dude, like, you should totally take the film class. It's really easy. It's fun.
You get to
the
watch
instructor's really laid back. Yeah. And he was like, you should, totally take it. And I was like, okay. So I get in there, and like the first year, I guess it was all just fun because we made little projects. It was more like making things, just getting started. And then towards the end of the year, that's when I was like, you know what, I think I want to like start making some YouTube videos. So I started making some YouTube videos, some little vlogs and stuff. And then it led to like my first like music video. It was terrible, but it was a music video. And then from there, that's when I decided, like, you know what, this is what I want to do. Like, this is really fun, and like I get to be as creative as I want. And that's how I started. So I feel like that's funny.
It's,
was
a
studying,
lot of
yeah.
times just, you hear actors that talk and they're like, how did you become an actor? And they're like, I needed to take a class, so I took the acting class.
Yeah.
It seemed like
Yeah.
it'd be an easy class and they got smitten by the acting bug, so
Mhm.
it really does happen that sort of serendipitously.
Mhm.
My
So,
friend Monty, I'm sorry, go ahead.
no, it's okay. Richie, question: was your short film Snap for a class?
No, I actually, well, yeah, I did make that one, but that was my 10th grade year in high school. My freshman year, I made something, it was called Flame. It's like really, really far down, but Snap was one that I actually won awards for. And like, I took it to it was called the Milledgeville Film Festival. And I actually, like, it was basically like some high schools and then colleges, like Georgia colleges. And like, so we ended up winning like over the colleges. Like our film won
Wow.
over the colleges. And like,
Great.
and everybody in our group, we were like so happy on the way back. We were like celebrating and like everything like that. It was really fun. It was awesome.
That's awesome. Sarah, what is your main inspiration for cinematography? Why is this what you want to do?
I was studying IT, so total opposite side of the spectrum in every way. And it's pretty draining. I just knew that it would give a good paycheck at the end. So I was kind of going for cybersecurity. And for one of my classes, we had to make a video. And I loved every second of it compared to all of the rest of the schoolwork. It you know, it got me out of bed and I was excited. I couldn't wait to do it. I couldn't wait to keep working on it. And then my instructor, she was like, "Can I use this at an international conference?"
Wow.
And I had no idea that was going to happen. So I had to sign a media release. And
Maybe you got something here.
yeah, I was like, compared to like I hate my life and this was really fun. So I decided, if I love it so much, like it's not about the money because I've always heard like you don't go for a job for the money because if you go for what you're passionate about, the money will come.
Mm.
So, and you can always do like side gigs if you have to. So, yep. And then I didn't know that you could get into Full Sail virtual, like remotely. I always thought you had to be on campus. So when I discovered that, it was like I seriously felt like I won the lottery because I wanted to go to Full Sail since I was 14, and I'm 34. So,
Oh, wow.
You look great.
Yeah, really. I mean, that's a long time to wait for a dream, but good for you. Good for you. I'm sorry I keep getting those noises, but I think if I close down my Google, my internet, that it'll take you guys with it. So
Okay.
sorry about that.
No, it's all right.
Okay.
So why did you want to get into film, Adam?
Film has always been something that I've been interested in. Like, I think it was in an English class where we were watching clips from The Fellowship of the Ring, and we were analyzing all the different camera shots. Is it a low angle? Is it a high angle? How many cuts are in this scene? And I think the scene we watched was the quote-unquote get off the road scene. Frodo is watching the Leafs. Frodo's watching the Leafs blow off the road, and he's with all the other hobbits, and they're trying to run away from the Knight Rider. I know it's been a long time since we've
Never
probably
watched
seen it.
any of the none of those movies.
Really?
Yeah, I'm not into the fantasy thing. It's too much to remember. I can't like you have to remember this whole like world and really digest it, and I don't have the brain power for that.
I watched them all in like one day. I was really bored and watched them all in one day. Yeah.
Well, I'm starting to think that maybe, I tend to take quantity. I don't know if I'd say quantity over quality, but I think sometimes binging, like it's too much. Like how much do you really absorb when you're binging,
You hear
It's just,
that?
I mean, there's a difference between being able to see something in its entirety in one sitting and waiting every week to see it once a week, and um I don't know which one I like better, I like binge watching, but I think how you watch something is how will alter or somehow color how you think about it. Whether like the last or one of the seasons of what was the Kevin Spacey one about
House of Cards.
Yeah, House of Cards. I binged watched it, and in one season, in one day, he went from being the vice president to the president, and it was weird, Whereas if I had watched it one episode a week, it would have taken 2 months, and it would have felt more natural that that happened to him. Whereas by binging it all in one day, it was weird for me. But that's me, everyone's different,
Yeah. I think it depends on like how you watch it, like you said. Like my wife can watch, like she started watching NCIS from the very beginning.
Wow.
And she watches it. Yeah, I know. She binge watches that. I think in one day she got to season 4 already. Wow. So she can binge watch shows, but for me, I can only watch maybe 4 episodes at a time, and then I'm good for a week. Like when The Walking Dead first came out, I could not handle watching one episode every week because there was always a cliffhanger. Even Sarah agrees with me. Oh man.
Yeah, and then there's the opposite. There are some shows that you have to wait so long between seasons. Like even before COVID, Breaking Bad. It's like I had to wait long between seasons, and it was very frustrating. I never understood why they did that with that show and with Mad Men. I'm not sure why, but it was like I forgot already what happened last season.
Yeah.
So, I'm always looking for the recap.
Yeah, we all need a recap. But yeah, I told Lori this in, I believe, our last Zoom meeting as a class. I started doing a video project for Goodwill Northern Michigan where I take items that we send to shopgoodwill.com, and after they have already sold, I take the photos and I find the price of them, and I just give a little bit of information about the product, and I say what it actually sold for, because a lot of customers are actually interested in the Shop Goodwill items. So I wanted to make a video series about it called Top Treasures, and the person that I work with, the director of communications, she wants a lot in the videos, and some of it is stuff that I actually have to look up and figure out how to do. Like, she bought a green screen for me, and I have no idea how to use a green screen. So I had to look up videos. No, the episode turned out great. I figured out how to use it. I was actually surprised because I have a blue background and I'm wearing a blue shirt. So I thought it was just going to be a floating head and arms, but thankfully it wasn't.
Well, how different were the color blues?
They were pretty similar. Like, I think one of them was only like a tiny bit darker, so
really?
it didn't blend correctly. Yeah, I can email that to the rest of you if you guys.
What did you key it in? Like, what did you key it with program?
I have Cyberlink Power Director and I use Chroma Key.
Okay, I use Adobe Premiere for everything.
I've tried using Adobe Premiere, but it's so intimidating when you first look at it. With Cyberlink, like, here's the timeline, here's your media, here's your preview. That's it.
It's like I guess Premiere is like the same thing. It's all just a lot more like simplified, and you can like use other Adobe programs in it. Like, you can take Photoshop, and if you can open Photoshop and open Premiere and After Effects at the same time, and use all the files in each program at the same time. So you can take like a Premiere Pro clip, put it in After Effects, edit it in After Effects, and it transfers over to Premiere Pro. That's why I love using Adobe, because everything is like intertwined and you can use everything together as one. You don't have to export it, put it in something else, export it again, put it back in the other program. It just saves so much time.
Yeah, I've learned in my earlier days, if you export a video like 3 times, it severely impacts the quality of the video.
Yeah, yeah.
I didn't know that in my younger days.
I didn't realize that. So it
The
degrades
maximum
quality every time you copy it.
Yes.
Mhm.
Yeah,
That's-
I
And it
learned
also
How would it degrade it though?
like because when you export it, it pretty much like compresses it and uses like all the rendering. It uses the easiest like rendering available. So if it's like rendered at originally at 4K, the next time you render it, it's going to go down like a tiny bit. It's just not like a significant amount of like quality. It's like really, really small, but it like starts to go down more and more. Like the quality of the video every time goes more and more. So it depends on like what it's shot. Like if it's shot at 4K, you can probably export it like 4 times and it still look okay. But if it's like a 1080 like HD video and you export like 3 times, it's gonna look like it's 480.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. So yeah, I was working on that stuff, and then right when the green screen was brought in, I was like, okay, I have no idea how to do this. I need to see if it's possible for me to go back to college and figure this out. And instantly when I thought of film, I was like, okay, I'll look at Full Sail. Why not? And I was looking around, and for the virtual digital cinematography degree, it said request more information. I clicked it, and I was at work when I did it. I clicked it. Literally 5 minutes after I clicked it, they give me a call. It's like, guys, I'll be busy in a minute. Hi, what's up? So
Now,
yeah.
so your film, Adam, your film or digital cinematography?
Digital cinematography. Yeah,
Because I do have some film students that have chosen to take it off, that were brick and mortar, but have decided to take this class online. So I have like the full accoutrement these days.
mhm.
Yeah, so that's why I'm at Full Sail, and I feel like the skills that I'm going to learn here will help me create something memorable and inspirational, because that's what I want to do. That's my end goal. I want to create something that somebody will watch it and it'll change something inside of them.
Well, I think as filmmakers, that's what we all want, or as film people that, the film festival I manage, one of the things I find interesting about it is that, it's called the Global Peace Film Festival. It's all documentaries, human trafficking, bottled water, and a lot of people started out just figuring out a good way to tell what they want to tell everyone, and decided that film was the best way to do that, and then went on to become filmmakers. So if we're going to learn anything from history, is that if you want to get a message out, film is the medium. I mean, it's the biggest propaganda. It's funny because I just did a doc seminar on and I talked about propaganda, and in order to justify their efforts in the war, because a lot of like top run filmmakers were overseas, shooting the war. And the Academy Awards actually in 42 made a category for documentary. And if you look at it, it's like all for like the first 5 to 10 years of the documentary genre, it's all government, supplied documentaries, which really are just propaganda. And I tell students, you're in a really good place now because everyone needs video content about anything and everything, so it's really a great time.
Yeah, I love
It's actually like from like where I'm like I guess at right now, the hardest thing for me is to find somebody that needs like work done, because like I've reached out to so many people and I feel like just nobody really needs it. Like here, like in my area.
Where are you?
I'm like I'm in Livonia, Georgia. So like
Are there any corporate headquarters there for any companies? Is there a TV station that you can intern at? You know, there's just like so many paths, and you know, it's not all going to be, you know, big feature film stuff, you know.
Yeah. I guess what I'm just trying to find now is just like a source of income so I can go like other places. So it's
Right.
like the biggest thing around here is real estate. So there's so many real estate businesses around here. So I've reached out to maybe like 40 agents and I've heard like nothing back.
Really?
So
You know what? You know why? Because everyone's got one of these and they all think they're filmmakers. That's why. And they're not. You know, like I remember when I started my still photography business, I asked this rich friend of mine to help get me in at her kids' prep school to do senior photos. And she's like, oh, well, you know, there's a mother that already does that. And she has a really big camera. And it's like, okay, that's like saying someone's a really good singer because they have a bigger microphone, you know.
Size doesn't matter.
It doesn't matter. You know,
Ritchie.
but that it does, guys. Sorry. But I have 2 DSLRs, an SLR, a point and shoot Nikon, a point and shoot Canon, and this is what I use all the time. Period. It doesn't matter unless you're doing something professionally and you need the output to be like immaculate and high res and all that. This is never going to go anywhere but my computer or my phone, you know, or on Facebook or whatever. So unless you're really blowing stuff up, you know, or like, you know, the zoom on these things sucks, you know, but it's not what you shoot with, it's who's doing the shooting. And I try to explain that to my son because he seems to have sort of gotten my, you know, photographic sensibility. And I try to explain to him why his picture was good and why it's different from anyone else's. I said, why did you choose to snap at that second? Because at that second, it all happens so fast that we don't digest it the way I'm saying it. It just, that's when your eye decides to take that picture, you know, and that's something it can be taught. Obviously, I taught it to him. Like when he was little, I used to, at Walgreens, they had these little cameras. And when you brought the film back, they reloaded another roll of film, kind of like the original Brownie. And, you know, I just would give him the camera and say, here, go shoot, you know, shoot whatever you want. And the kid developed an eye, you know. So it's really not about all the equipment, which I have to ask you, Ritchie, that light behind you, did you buy that on Amazon?
Yeah. That's a that's a VR tracking sensor.
I thought that's what it was.
Okay. It's like
it's got sensors in it. You can see it on camera, but you can't see them in real life. It's like IR.
There's this light set that I bought, and another student had bought it, and we kind of, our weekly wrap-ups became like show and tell of all our toys, you know, and we both had gotten this light kit. It's 2 LED lights, about 4x6. It came with a diffusion filter, orange, red, blue, and I think a light orange, stands for both lights, and tabletop stands, little like tripods, for $27.
Oh my God, what a steal. You just robbed them.
But it's funny because he got the same deal, and you know, I've gone back to look, and it's not $27. Like we both must have bought it just at that same point in, you know, that they put, you know, maybe it was a deal of the day, who the hell knows. But I mean, just the tripods that the lights are on are worth, you know, it's amazing. You know, the technology has gotten so inexpensive that, you know, really it sort of democratizes the production end, but where it's still, although, you know, people are self-distributing on Amazon, you know, getting their stuff shown on Prime. So you guys are really in a time where you can really have a bigger hand in whether your career, how you get your stuff out there,
Mhm. I think I've invested so much into so much gear over like these past like couple of years, because like I think it was like a month ago where I bought my Canon EOS R6. It can shoot like 4K, like 10-bit. And then I have another Canon that's it's the T7i, was like a little $800 like DSLR. And then I have a drone that can shoot 4K. And then I also have a stabilizer for both cameras. And I have like 3 GoPros.
Wow.
And it's just sitting.
No, I understand. I used to have a still photography business. I have transceivers. I have like 4 flashes. I have, lenses out the wazoo. One time I needed some money, so I had it was like a 50 to, it's like one of those lenses you see on the sidelines at the sporting events.
Oh God.
And yeah, like you had to have the monopod to hold the lens because it's so freaking heavy. And I sold it, and I got like not anything close to what you would pay for at retail, but I don't use any, and I can't part with it, I don't understand. It's like
I definitely understand that.
So why don't I just sell it? I could use the money, but I can't do it.
But like there's always that feeling of like, well, I used it when I bought it and I might use it again, but if I sell it, I'll have to go out and rebuy it.
Exactly.
So I might as well just keep it. I totally get that.
Yeah.
And they're DSLRs that don't even shoot video, so they're old, They only shoot still, things. So I'm not a good video shooter for some, I can shoot video, but I'm a better still shooter, in my opinion, than a video shooter.
Yeah, I'm like
I bought,
more amateur.
Let me see if I can get it. Yeah, I bought one of these ring lights, and I have not once used it. I got this Christmas last year, and I have never ever used it.
Okay,
I'm trying to find a purpose.
The genesis of the ring light is it was used mostly in fashion photography because, as you can see, I have a ring, like literally, guys, like $10, it's, maybe 3 inches in diameter. And it was for 2 reasons. One, they, when they hire a model, they look for someone who's symmetrical so that they can sculpt the face the way they want it to look. Okay. And by using the ring light, you do that. You erase all shadows. There's the only shadow here is under my chin. Okay. And the other thing the ring light does is it puts light in the eyes. Like, see me now? My eyes look really alive. Dead eyes, So that is the genesis of it. We've all come to use them for these things, and they've gotten a little ridiculous. But that is the genesis of the ring light. And actually what it was for is it would be around the lens of your camera.
Yeah.
So, but little film history there.
Yeah, I thought about using it for my final project for your class, and like no matter what I did, I just couldn't get it positioned right because this is literally my camera. It's just a webcam, and the tripod for the ring light is too big, so I can't just like position it right where I can see the script and look at the camera at the same time. I just couldn't do it.
Right. You do what you have to.
Yeah. For my final project, I did 2 cameras.
Yeah, I know.
2 different angles.
Dude, you can have
one light. I was like, you know what? I'm shooting an interview, and that's what I'm doing.
That's exactly what it was.
That's what it
was cool.
That's what it was. That's a smart idea.
And I was able to like keep
Did you
it
get a
very
good
like. You were my instructor.
I don't, dude, I have like 75 students a month. You think I remember everyone's name? Are you kidding?
It was the evolution of Ari video.
Oh, Sharon graded that one. Sharon graded that
Mhm.
one. I didn't see it. Sorry.
Okay. It's okay. You'll have to watch
You
it.
guys
But I
also
did
had me
like
the month I had COVID, so
Yeah,
yeah,
Sharon really. I mean, like January is a blur to me, to be quite honest.
mhm. I had the two cameras, and then on the right side, well, the left side, I had a window, so that was just like
Right.
natural light.
yeah.
And then on my right side, I actually had a small little LED panel that just pointed at my face. So I was trying to light my whole face, but I didn't. I know I didn't get the lighting perfect, which kind of bothered me when I was editing. I was taking. I really wish I would have moved the light like another like 5 degrees, but it was really fast paced, and that's what I was like, man, I felt like that was really fast paced. But when I was talking to Sarah, she also agreed, like it was a lot of information that just kind of came out really quickly, to keep people watching. Like, so it was really fast. Like there wasn't any like dead silence at all.
Well,
Like,
and it shouldn't be. That's
cool.
that's the idea. I come from a commercial background. I shot a lot of TV commercials, so I know you can tell a whole story in 30 seconds.
Oh,
if
yeah.
you plan properly. So I was actually thinking we should make it 5 minutes, up to 5 minutes. But here's the thing: people are still going to want more time. People
Yeah.
are always going to. I can make it 10 minutes, and there's going to be someone that still needs more time, or whatever. So
Yeah.
3 to 4 minutes of screen time, I don't think people realize is a long time, really, when
Mhm.
you
It
think
really
about
is.
it, and I have students that like they'll spend 30 seconds like doing this crazy opening, and it's like, well, you just wasted 1/8 of your time, or sometimes they do it for a minute, or they're 2 minutes in and they're still in the silent era, and it's like, move it along.
Mhm.
It's
Yeah, I
hit
think
the
like
high notes,
30
keep it
seconds
moving.
should be. I think 30 seconds should be like the maximum amount of time for an intro. Like, if you're if the whole video is just the intro, then people are gonna click off.
Right. I think the other thing that a lot of people make a mistake, and this I think is more indicative of the newer generations, is they don't follow the instructions. It's like they can't seem to get their heads out of their asses long enough to think about something other than what they like or what they
Mhm.
and it's just such a, considering you guys have this amazing thing and still keep their scope so narrow, it boggles my mind.
Mhm. Yeah. Like a simple idea. Like my friend, he goes to a different college, but he is in like this film club, and he was telling me that like the people around him like have all these like really simplistic like normal ideas for videos, and he's just like coming up the box with like these like overwhelming like plot twisting stories with like intertwining characters and like different like episodes, and like every like
Too far ahead.
it'll be like he'll come up with like an idea that's worth money, and like these other people will literally have ideas that you can pull off Google.
Right.
That's another thing that like I feel like that, like I guess more my generation, because I'm only 20 years old, so my generation is very simplistic and just wants to get it done. So that's why I don't really meet a lot of people my age in doing this, because everybody's lazy. Everybody's like, oh, let's just
I'm gonna
do it
kind
and
of
get it
agree
done.
with you on that. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, during my final project, oh my god, there were so many times where I just wanted to be like, screw it, it's good enough. But I told myself, like, no, I'm making a video, it has to be right. And maybe I overworked a little bit too much into my video, because I started it at like 9 in the morning, and I finished it, like edited, exported, and uploaded to Full Sail at midnight. I spent way too much time on it, but I'm proud of
That's
it.
not that bad.
Here's the thing, though. We give you guys almost a whole week to work on it. You have a whole
Right.
month to think about it. And then really the only thing that's due that week is a quiz and learning, and watching a movie. And then we
Yeah.
pretty much give you, an entire week to do it.
Mhm.
But, here's what I know, because I was a film student, is we all wait till the last minute, but what I don't wait for the last minute is I'm always thinking about it. There's always a thought process. It's not like I didn't think about it at all, and then at the last minute I do it and it sucks. It's like, no, I've been thinking about it. And once I finally sit down to, not literally put pen to paper, it just comes flooding out, and I think a lot of film people kind of have that type of personality.
All under pressure.
Yeah, it's grace under pressure. That's what, it's controlled chaos, a film set.
Yes, Sarah, what was the process of your final project, the evolution of music and film?
It was really good.
It was.
Yeah, with Lori, I mean, I had to call Lori.
Is your audio? We can't hear you that well, Sarah.
We're professionals, everybody.
We can't hear you. There you go. There you go.
My laptop cracked it. So, can you hear me now?
A little bit better.
A little bit better.
I just thought a lot about it and made probably 2.5 outlines, and then had to call Lori, and she helped me shift gears because I was thinking the evolution of music in film, and it was overwhelming a lot. So,
Yeah.
And then my dad was like, well, if somebody wanted to do all the history of all the world wars, they could do it in 30 documentaries or 5 minutes. It is possible.
Oh, it's
so
possible.
He's like,
It absolutely is.
but so then, and then it actually, like, I'm not exactly a fan of musicals. I like the Lord of the Rings, and I like that, like, fantasy stuff. So it's not that musicals aren't, I don't know what it is. So looking into it, I had to sort of like dig for some passion about it. And just watch countless videos and try to binge watch some really quick. And
I have to say, the one thing I really like about you, Sarah, and I don't know why I haven't told other students to do this, but you actually looked up some of the students whose projects we have as examples, and I just thought that was brilliant. I mean, what a great way to start networking. Like, hey, I'm where you were, X amount of years ago. Where did you find your inspiration? Whatever you asked them, I just thought that, I was like, wow, that's really smart. So kudos to you for networking. I mean, that's what it is. That's why I sort of instituted the weekly wrap-ups, because I teach 3 sections, 25 each students, but you guys can't see each other. The only time because you guys were in different sections, I think. I don't think you were all.
I think we were all in the same.
Were you?
Like, I think we were all in the same, like, yeah, because we all just finished, right? We all just finished that class last month. Yeah, so I think we were all.
But the thing is we have 6 sections, and each section has 25 students. So you might have been in section 3, Adam might have been in section 4, Sarah might have been in section 5. So you all might have.
Zoom, right?
In the Zoom, we were all together. Yes, that's the only place where the 3 sections meet as one. And this last one on Friday, I encouraged everyone to put their email up. The couple of students started Discords. Which, can someone please explain to me why it's called the Discord? When that,
I think this is a question for Ritchie.
This is like really bad branding in my book. It caused me
Like-
discord because my freaking email blew up and it gave me anxiety. I refused to join a Discord.
Like the Discord app, like
Well, why is it called a Discord? To me, Discord is like an interruption or a conflict of something.
The funny thing is, I'm sorry. I just find it funny that she called it the Discord instead of Discord.
Like the Facebook, right? I'm like, I'm 61, okay? So let's get, I think I'm pretty hip for 61, but
I love the MySpace.
yeah.
Oh man.
The Discord is basically like,
So would it be a Discord?
it's just Discord. Like it's just like a big, like what I use it for is like to interact with all of my gamer friends. That's what I use it for.
Said that it's really like a tool that's used in the gaming world quite a bit, but like Sale has like someone, she's not with us anymore, and that she went and did another job, not that she died. Okay. And she was like, "Oh, we'll join our Discord," and I was like, "Oh, hell no," because you got to understand. I don't only get my 3 sections worth of emails. I get all the emails that from John's sections. So that could be another 2 to 3 sections. So let's add all the other crap that I get. And then, now I have Discord blowing up my thing. You see, I didn't say the Discord. I'm learning. Just to feed off that a second, change gears. Always, this is what I'm going to tell everyone. I sort of touched on it earlier, is don't fall in love with the toys and the technology, because that's going to change in a heartbeat. What never changes is needing to find a good story, and how do you tell that story to get people involved in it, So that all this technology, ring lights, GoPros, DSLRs, 5K, 10K, 20,000K, you can have all the Ks you want. Does it tell a story? You can blow up as many things. Does it tell a good story? Did anyone see The Power of the Dog on Netflix? Nominated for an Oscar. It was really, I didn't think I was going to like it, but I really liked it. The ending was really good. I won't say, I have to confer with a friend that I understood it correctly, but
I'm going to write that down real quick so I can watch it later.
I thought the title was kind of bullshit. I didn't really like the title. Because the thing is it's supposed to be that he sees the shadow of the dog or whatever. And it's like, well, if the light's in a certain way, that shadow will be there, but that shadow's not going to, that's like, I'm not really giving anything major away, but when you see that part of the movie, you'll be like, really? He saw that quickly? Like what, But it was, the ending really surprised me. So
it looks like some kind of a Western show.
It looks like that, but it's so much more. It's in the Western milieu, if you will. Okay. It's funny because the guy, I don't even remember his character's name, and I don't know his name in real life. Whenever I see him, I think of the show Breaking Bad. He was one at toward the end of the series. He was one of those like white supremacist nutcases that like had Jesse hostage in like the, I don't know if you've ever seen Breaking Bad, but anyway, he was like nothing then, and he's like in everything now. I don't know. I don't know actors' names anymore. I have other useless trivia floating in my head. They said what was I watching? And they said one of the reasons older people have a hard time remembering stuff is because they have a lot of stuff in there. There was a show, I think it was on Netflix, and it was like 40 people, okay, or 100 people. And like they had people in their 20s, in their 30s, their 40s, their 50s, and their 60s. I think that's as high as they went. And they would assign them tasks like, put this chair together without the instructions. And what it was is someone was reading you the instructions to put it together from your team. And it ended up that the 20-year-olds and the 60-year-old were more aligned because the 20-year-olds had more of the energy, but the 60-year-olds had the experience. So it's really, we don't live in a country that reveres the elderly, and there's something to be said about revering the elderly. We've been around. I'm the elderly
in this group. Yeah.
I fucking hate that I'm the elderly. I hate being in my 60s. It sucks.
Man, I have kids and I already feel like I'm 60. I'm only 24.
My baby, my son's only like a year younger than you, Adam.
Oh God.
My son's going to be 23 in July.
Oh man. Hey Richie, how's it feel being the young one?
Oh please. I host this one show. Actually, I'm doing it today. Go online, New Plaza Cinema at 4:00. We're doing a talk back on Jules Agim, Truffaut, and we were in a Zoom meeting the other day, and I'm the youngest of the group. Okay.
Usually it's the opposite for me. Usually when I hang around my friends, I'm either like the second oldest or like the oldest. So this is
I was always the youngest because I was born on the 1st of the year, and in New York I missed the year, but my mom made it up for me somehow. And good old mom. And we have our ways. And I lost my train of thought. Shit.
That's the old age right there, everyone.
Pretty much.
I'm already done with your class. You can't fail me.
Yeah, you know what, dudes? I'm sitting here watching my mother and her sister have some serious dementia. Like my mom keeps asking me if I spoke to my dad, and I say, that'd be pretty amazing, Mom, because he's dead.
Oh.
He died a year ago, But the freakier thing is she'll be like, have you talked to Ma lately? And she's talking about her mother. So I think she thinks at that point I'm her sister. And I'm like, well, Mommy, if you're talking about Grandma Flo, your mom, she too is dead. Really? When did she die? 22 years ago. Nobody told me. It's like, hey.
That's
so like, I want to make a short film about that now.
It's funny. I have to laugh or else I'll cry, kind of thing,
Like I feel like that's perfect setup for like a Betty White sitcom or something. Rest in peace.
Yes, no, she was. Well, it's just funny because like at some point she was really obsessing about her father's death. I mean, her father died when I was like 8. Okay. We had this long 20-minute conversation where we went over who was dead. There's only 4 people who've died in the entire family. And we hung up and she called me back like a minute later, and I answered the phone. I said, they're still dead.
Oh my God.
And she laughed. So.
Oh my God. I feel like that could be one whole episode of a sitcom. Just that be the end. It's like, they're still dead.
It's true. I mean, she called my uncle, my brother. It's hilarious, but you gotta laugh. It's like she had just got over having COVID. God bless her. I come from very sturdy stock, and but she didn't remember.
Oh no.
I call her every day and I'm like, how you feeling, Mom? She's like, fine. Why? And I'm like, well, you have COVID. I do. What, did I get it in the kitchen?
Like it's a food.
I have not had
she's saying that she doesn't leave her house. So like, where did she get it? Walking through the kitchen, It's like she left the house once to go visit her great nieces and her great grandchildren and granddaughter. And the next day, the great granddaughter got tested positive. So that's where she got it. The one time she left the house.
Jeez.
Crazy.
Fortunately, I've never had it. Never had COVID.
Lucky.
Get vaccinated though.
I'm double vaxxed and boosted already.
Me too. You know, it felt like it put up a block, you know, like it never got really bad, you know, like it felt for me. What I will tell you about it is it attacks the weakest part of you. It knows what the weakest part of you is. And because like
it's gonna go for my mental state. I'm just kidding.
While you're making a film and you're just gonna be hopped up.
Oh my God!
That's a perfect scene right there. It's like,
let's bring it back to film. I tried to watch the Joel Coen's Macbeth yesterday.
Oh,
y'all,
no.
I just got to tap out at Shakespeare. I have never ever been able to read, watch Shakespeare. It's beautiful. It very much is sort of harkens to Ingmar Bergman, you know, in the steel. I mean, the black and white photography is just, it's stunning. It's very stylized. It's very what's the word I'm looking for? Geometrical, you know, lots of triangles and like arch. I can't explain it. It's beautifully shot, but I couldn't. I don't get. I don't know. Did they really used to talk like that?
Nobody knows. Nobody knows.
I guess they did, you know. I mean, it's just like, it's something you have to really pay attention to. And it's
that's how all Shakespeare language is.
I know. So, you know, I watch Kiss Me Kate instead of Taming of the Shrew, you know. A musical, Sarah.
Wasn't there an Ethan Hawke version of Hamlet as well?
I don't know. I'm sure Kenneth Branagh, who can, I know he's playing Poirot, the detective who has a thing for mustaches, but he literally shares his screen time with the mustache. You know, it's like, I can't even listen to what he's saying because I'm too busy looking at the mustache, you know. It's like, I get that that's the character's thing. He's a mustache guy, but
I can't hear you. Let me get my glasses.
Well, Prince of Tides, there was a scene with Barbara Streisand and Nick Nolte, and it was a close-up, and she has like amazing nails, like really long nails. She always has. And she was competing with her nails on the close-up, you know. It was like I could only look at the nails.
Well,
So
clearly she wasn't doing a good job of competing then.
But you know, that's why I tell people, like students, you know, look at the background when you're filming yourself. You know, like all of you, yours is a little messy, Ritchie, I'm not gonna lie. Yours is Sarah, and I like Adam's. Yours is very creative.
Thank you.
Is it mirrored? Is it that one screen? It's one screen?
No, it's just one screen, and on the other side it's just blank.
Right.
The only reason mine is messy is because I don't have like a space. Like I'm just kind of like all.
You think
I'm
actually sitting someplace that's nighttime with red lanterns?
Maybe.
I mean, you seem like somebody that would do that. I'm sure there's a restaurant in Florida like that.
You know,
hello class.
I was doing a Zoom lecture and someone asked me what my background was. So I started going, well, I used to work in the film industry, and they meant my virtual background.
Like it's not even a background. It's like you at an actual like fancy restaurants, like drinking wine. It's like, hello class.
Having like a fancy dinner.
No, it's
on
sort
the
of
Friday
like
wrap up.
A method, a Zoomer, in that like I tried I'm on the wrong account. I didn't mean to log on this account. My other account has like a lot more background, so I try and like make my background appropriate. Like I did a Playfully Orange interview the other day, and it looked like I was in like my evil lair, you know.
That's awesome.
Yeah,
nice.
So, I mean, like I literally just spent a half an hour when Zoom first happened, and I just Googled deco images, shoes. Like if I would be talking to my dad, I'd have airplane in the background because he was he loved flying. He was a pilot, and you know, if I'm talking to, you know, whatever, shoes, I love shoes, so I have shoe background. So I've become a method Zoomer.
All right.
I do I have one more question.
Yeah.
Like overall, I guess. So like, what time does everybody go to sleep and what time does everybody wake up? Because I'm actually curious about like the sleep schedule, like for like Lori, like when you were doing like when you said you were doing like set work and more photography stuff, what was your schedule like during the day, like for a project?
Well, I was freelance, so it's a very different world, freelance. So you sleep when you're not working and you don't sleep when you are working. Every day is a
Okay,
holiday.
so it's like chaotic.
Yeah, but it's controlled chaos, like I said before. If you're shooting night shoots, it takes you a while to recover from that when you're done wrapping. But I did, because I mean, growing up, I was a total night owl, and now I totally wake up early, and that that has to do with production, because I was, I was either the locations person or the production manager or producer, whatever. We had to be there first. So you're waking up. Matter of fact, I used to have to wake up when it was still dark out. So I'd always leave a light on somewhere so that when I woke up, some light would hit my eyes to kind of wake me up, you know. And now I think COVID's just really screwed with like sometimes I'm like, and I'm asleep by like 8 o'clock, and other times I'm up till 2 a.m. So my sleep's become very erotic.
Yeah.
Excuse me,
I just want to know if,
erotic.
I really was just curious because like I've been doing like kind of the similar thing, but I'm typically up later and waking up later. Like to make it on time to this Zoom call, I had to go to bed purposely earlier because usually I'm going to bed at like 3 or 4 in the morning. But like and then I'm waking up between like 11 and 12. So like I'm trying to like wake up earlier, but today was like the earliest I woken up in like a while. So I just wanted to know if like anybody was like had like the similar like I guess rhythm.
I mean, I'm a gamer, so I can stay up super late. Like, I don't even know why. I stayed up until like midnight last night playing a football game, and I never ever play football game. How ironic, because it's Super Bowl Sunday today. I mean, at least at the time of recording this, I don't know when it's going to go up, but I think last night I went up, I went upstairs, I fell asleep at like 1, and I set alarms for like 7:30 because I wanted to make sure all this was set up for 10 o'clock. And yeah, I was tired. My throat started hurting a little bit. By the way, thank you, Sarah, for mentioning throat coat. It's amazing. Um, and yeah, my sleep schedule's everywhere because I work as well. I work really random shifts.
I had to teach on campus the other morning, and I was like it's like I forgot how to get ready and get to work by 9. I was like, what about you, Sarah?
Oh, can you hear me?
Yeah, a lot better.
Okay. I don't know what it is, but I feel like I'm more creative like after 10 o'clock at night.
Yeah, I was going to say, especially the world of editing always takes place late at night. It just,
The more sleep deprived I am, I don't know, like the more maybe juices are flowing, especially after midnight. It's just like when everybody's asleep and it's really quiet. So I'll go to bed, if I'm working on something, I might just stay up all night. I mean, I have a 4-year-old, so I have to be up, but I usually don't get to bed before 11, midnight. And I'm up at like whatever time my daughter needs to be up.
I'd say like regardless of anything, like I'll set an alarm, like if I have to be up at 7:30, but I'm usually like cracking an eye open around 6 a.m. Like I mean, I'm jumping up out of bed, but this morning I slept till like 8:35, which is like unprecedented, but I think the whole COVID thing is really messed. I know I'm having like a hard time getting back out and doing, I mean, I did stuff all during COVID, but it's just like, really, I got to get dressed.
Mhm.
That's me every day. What are you talking about?
That's what I'm saying, especially
I
being
gotta
in
put my
like,
pants on.
I gotta
Yeah,
be
I put on a nice LTT hoodie for you guys.
Thank you, Adam. That is much appreciated.
I mean, I'm wearing a
on
shirt underneath.
Hoodie.
I should have colored in my brows a little more. Huh? Oh,
Oh,
okay.
that's good to know, I guess.
Yeah, I don't go. I have that Eastern European skin that gets like these dark patches, so I have to like sit there with the like facial whiteout. And then you put the ring light on and it all goes away. It's all beautiful.
All right, so I think right now we'll take a short break, go to the bathroom, get some food, get a drink, whatever you need to do, and we'll come back in a couple minutes.
Okay.
To work for.
Why don't I meet men that are my age like you? It's like all these guys here in Florida, they're all like, I will go to the beach, I like to go kayaking and climbing, and I'm like, doesn't anyone just like to stay home and watch movies? Like even in my youth, I wasn't an outdoorsy person, like I didn't. Like you were never going to hear me say, "Hey, let's go climb a mountain," let's go hiking.
Yeah.
And it's funny because I'm reading my cousin just wrote a book, Be Vigilant, and I was reading it, and he made reference to like because he lives in Colorado, and him and his family are very outdoorsy, and they go skiing and they go hiking and climbing, and that's not how we grew up. He grew up on Long Island, I grew up in Brooklyn. We didn't do that stuff even in sleepaway camp. The closest it came to outdoorsy was actually like camping out, and I hated that because the bugs loved me. They just eat me up a lot.
I guess like it's not bad, like because the other day like I literally have not gone out in a while, so my mom like encouraged us like, hey, you should come on this hike with us, and I was like, all right, I'll bring my camera. So I literally hauled like I don't even know how many pounds of gear on my back to film this waterfall. So like, but I got amazing pictures and amazing video of it. So it was all worth it.
Do you know what it's meant when they say drag the shutter? Okay, so what you do, and this is a good like effect for water, is you need a tripod, but you leave the shutter open a little bit longer so it catches the movement of the water, and it tends to like, it's really cool. Next time you film water running, like a waterfall or whatever, try dragging the shutter so that it stays open a little bit, like so you can do it handheld, and it's sort of, I can't explain it, but Google it, dragging the shutter. It just.
I will. I mean, when I was taking pictures, I had my shutter speed higher, so I could like I guess capture it as more of a solid than a flowing.
Right.
So I did do that, but
which is just as cool too. Don't get me wrong, but I just didn't know if you knew that technique.
I've only done. I actually did with the shutter. I did open my shutter for something I did a long time ago when I worked at this film company for like an internship for 2 years. But it was like I guess a quote unquote a test to see like what we've learned, I guess.
Right.
And I did a photography, like it was like a photography challenge. It was part of the test. So what I did was a shutter, like I basically got on top of a roof and I put steel wool inside of a like a little mixer, like a whisk, and I put a chain on the whisk and I flung it around my head, and you got this cool like effect. It looks like it's like raining like fire basically, and you can see them like bouncing off the ground and stuff. I'll have to send it to you, that to you too. Yeah. It was really cool. It was really cool, and I want to do it again, but like It was really dangerous and it was really hot. But it was fun.
The things you do for film.
Yeah, that's the thing, like when I went to film school at Brooklyn College, the kind of things we had to do wasn't like go out and just make, write a screenplay. It was like go out and film a story entirely in close up. Tell a story.
I know. Oh, yeah.
Screen direction. You tell a story with 4 people sitting at a card table, and that was testing the 180 rule. Y'all know what the 180 rule is?
Yeah.
Okay. We did the reading, right?
Yes.
I don't know that we teach that in our class, but those were the, try and shoot something and edit entirely in camera. What was interesting? I was watching the movie Chaplin with Robert Downey the other night. It's really so good in that. They used to cut the negative when they were cutting the film. I don't, okay, your generation, y'all love hearing headlines. I'm thinking like, oh my God. And y'all are like, yeah, and what? Okay, your camera original negative is like, it has to be pristine. You strike the answer print, just the dailies, and then you don't go back to your negative till you're done editing, an answer print, and then you go back and cut your negative and you send it to a neg cutter because you need like a clean room, because if anything happens to negative, dirt, scratch, it's there forever, So anyway, I just thought it was really interesting that they used to cut negative, because that's like, oh my, well, obviously it's lost on y'all. So shut up.
As long as I had my SD cards, I'm fine.
They didn't have those back then.
Yeah. I mean, I loved cutting film. I mean, I had to, when I was in college, they were teaching us linear video editing. They didn't have what you all have now. And it used to be in film school, they would give you the film of Gunsmoke. At this point, it was video. And I was in the edit bay by myself. I didn't have a partner. No one wanted to partner up with me. Aww. And I started working, and all of a sudden, all the power went down. And I was like, oh no. Like, what did I do? Oh my God. And it traumatized me. It ended up there was a blackout, but I've just been traumatized ever since. And
I'm never editing again.
I just.
So you were in the editing bay by yourself, and you thought you caused
a power
outage?
It was like, I was like, oh my God, I created a power outage, I did something. And
oh no.
What was happening was they were filming a horror movie and you were about to be the protagonist.
Or the victim. I don't know.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, who knows?
Well, I'm glad I went to Brooklyn College first, because the teachers I had there, excuse me, I had this one professor, Igal Mashiach, for studies classes where you're looking at films, how, you tell story. And then I had this other teacher whose last name I don't know, but his name was Steve, and he was a cinematographer by trade. And we have like the 16 millimeter cameras with the 3 turret lenses, wide angle, telephoto, and normal. And there's something about film and the smell of film and the touching and the just looking up at, it's a very, and I'm a very tactile person. Like, I'll literally walk through a clothing store and just touch things, to see if like, is that a fabric I would wear? Because
guilt. I'm sorry, I work at Goodwill. I see a bunch of clothing brands.
Let me tell you something. My kid got bar mitzvahed. We went to Goodwill to get his suit jacket. I was like, I am not buying this kid a suit. He's not going to be this size and shape for much longer. He's 13, in the next 6 months, he's going to completely become someone different physically. So I think I bought a pair of black pants at Walmart and a white shirt and a Jets tie. I spent the money on the Jets tie because the devil's in the details. And went to Goodwill and bought him I think it was like $10 for a suit jacket.
Sounds right, yeah.
Yeah, Goodwill, let me tell you something. They rock. I love a good thrift store. We have one in the fancy area called the Goodwill Boutique.
Sounds a little too fancy.
That's
for a
nice.
Goodwill title.
It's Goodwill, and they're pandering to their neighborhood. The rich folk will go to Goodwill if it's a boutique.
Yeah. Yeah, and we have people that spend hundreds and thousands of dollars at our store, and we live in Traverse City, of all places.
Traverse City,
Michigan.
Is it really cold there?
Say what?
What, Sarah?
Oh, do they still have the Cherry Festival?
They
they still do that?
I don't think they did it this year because of COVID. Or no, they didn't do it last year because of COVID, but I think they did it the year after.
Okay.
Yeah,
I always went to that as a kid.
Years anymore. I'm so confused. like I did
you would think Traverse City is like a film place, but the only thing that we have is the film festival, and that's it. It really isn't much work around here.
So gorgeous up there. So many places to shoot, I feel like. Depending on, I just think of nature. Yeah. Oh.
Yeah, it depends on if you live up here.
Where do you live, Sarah?
I live in West Michigan.
Oh, okay.
Over on the lake. Yeah. It's still so beautiful. We finally have a production studio in Grand Rapids, and they want to get the lot and everything. Come down here. It's so cool. You can intern at the production studio. Like, they purposely made it for people because Grand Rapids didn't really have anything. So they are encouraging people to come down. We're Beer City, USA, so you can, I know you have a family and everything, so it's hard. Or Ritchie, you could come up here.
we
really
should all
cool.
move into a house together and have our own production studio.
Yes.
Oh my God, that'd be great.
That would be cool.
Great. It's like, Sarah, just from watching your final project video, I mentioned to you in the emails about your narration and your voice. Just from hearing you narrate your video, I instantly got inspired to have like a main character and narration over it, and I want to use your voice because it's amazing.
Oh, thank you. I'd be happy to.
Yeah, that'd be awesome. I just need
John
to figure out what I wanna do.
Voice over voice.
The other film
My
team.
voice is all over the place.
Yeah, I hate my voice.
It's like all the way up here, and then sometimes it's down here, and it's just don't use me for voiceover.
I have a naturally deep voice.
I think I actually lost another octave having COVID. It's like,
I know that feeling.
Oh man!
Like on the phone, I get called sir or drive through. Please drive to the window, sir.
It's always fun to mess with people in drive-thrus just to make their day.
I just think it's funny that I say I'm not a man, I'm a woman, and like they don't even care. It's like, yeah, whatever.
It's 2022. They're like, whatever.
I mean, it's just so accepted around here, like especially in Michigan.
Yeah.
Like we get, I don't know how to describe it. We get customers that sometimes we can't tell until they talk to us.
Right.
And we don't even say like, all right, here's your receipt, sir. Here's your receipt, ma'am. Do you have a coupon or anything like that? Like, we just don't say anything if we're not positive.
Yeah. You know, I was talking to someone the other day, and they were talking about their industry, and they're like, yeah, and diversity, inclusion, and I forget what the third buzzword is, and I'm like, no way, your company's asking you to study diversity and inclusion. I'm shocked. You know, it's like,
oh man.
Yo, I have to go. I have to go bake some cookies. I promised I'd bring cookies and ice cream to make ice cream sandwiches for Super Bowl. So.
Okay. When do you have to go then?
Like,
can
now.
you just say what your favorite movie is really quick? I am curious.
That's actually one of the questions on here.
Oh, okay.
Okay. One of my favorite movies of all time, and it was really hard to pick, because there's so many, but I'd have to say Betty Davis in Now Voyager. And the reason I like that movie so much is because Betty, at the beginning of the film, she's very dowdy. She has thick eyebrows. She wears Oxford shoes. You know, she's her mother's nursemaid. And she becomes beautiful. And at the end, she makes a decision that wasn't really popular for its time. It's just a beautiful, I can watch it over and over again.
A frumpy
It's the-
spinster
it's the-
blossoms under therapy and becomes an elegant, independent woman. That's the
Yeah,
description for it.
It's the scene at the end where he lights 2 cigarettes and gives her one, and he says, but will you be happy, Charlotte? And she says, oh, Jerry, why ask for the moon? We have the stars. And then they
Wow.
push out to the stars, you know, to the window.
Perfect.
And yeah.
It's very well written. I like that.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah, it's my favorite. Actually, I think I have that on a t-shirt somewhere.
I like that.
I am Lori, I'm 61 and I am a film geek.
Yeah, I wish we could have you on for longer.
Yeah, I have to go. I have cookies to make, and I just have stuff I have to do, and I have to put a year's together of watch parties, film contests that I curate to keep the movies in the zeitgeist all year round. We do watch parties the second Tuesday of every month. So if you guys want to check that out, and then New Plaza Cinema on every other Sunday has a free talk back. Like on Wednesday, Max, the film historian there, gave a lecture on Francois Truffaut. And then today they're doing a talk back on Jules et Jim by Truffaut. So, and it's the, you know, it was a organization I discovered because of COVID, and they didn't have a theater anymore. Their theater had gotten flooded, and I would sit there and I'd be like, I could do this. I could do this. And then one day they sent me an email and they said, you want to do this? I said, okay.
It all worked out.
That's how it happens, ladies and gentlemen.
Just manifest it.
Yeah, you know, you have to
Work.
Yeah, you have to put yourself where there's other people of what I mean, like, I love this group. They're all, like I said, I'm the youngest, so I love that. But they all love cinema, you know. I'm very intimidated by them. They know a lot more foreign shit than I do. I like really lack in the foreign area. What I know is more than most Americans, but still, you know. But yet I met this guy, Barry Sandler, who was a professor at UCF, who wrote probably one of my go-to movies when I was a kid, Duchess and the Dirtwater Fox with Goldie Hawn and George Segal. It's like a really stupid movie, but I used to love it. And he like doesn't know anything about foreign cinema. He just knows American cinema, you know.
Mhm.
And, but I feel intimidated by these people. Like they definitely know more. But you know, but here's the thing. They also aren't production people. You know, I worked in the industry. I worked on film sets. They talk about film sets. You know what I'm saying? I made films happen. I didn't just talk about them. And you know, they were filmed in the form of 30 to 60-second spots, but you know, they were still, you know, it's funny because I don't even know what the word film means anymore. I've really taken to using the word cinema because you can't just go shoot film anymore. If you want to shoot film, you have to call Kodak. They have to make the film, you know, to say, hey, let's, you know, go buy a few 400-foot loads of 52 whatever, you know, or 72 whatever. And those are the film stock numbers. 72 was 16, and I think 52 48 whatever was 35 millimeters. So just if you care. I really think the filmmaker of the future will ideally understand every type of format and choose what best suits their project. I believe the movie Jobs about Steve Jobs used the technology of each time period when it filmed. And that's a really subtle, certainly I don't think it registered in any audience member's mind, but it's a really nice touch, you know. And I think you have to know what the purpose and what each type of equipment can achieve. And again, don't fall in love with the equipment because it'll be different next year.
Yep.
You know, and here's the thing, basics are basics. You know, f-stop's an f-stop, a shutter speed is a shutter speed, lighting is lighting. Just because you don't need as much light doesn't mean you should be less cinematic in your approach. You know, you know, if you look at the works of Woody Allen before he met up with Gordon Willis, his films were funny and they were good, but they weren't very cinematic, you know, in the lighting. It was like lighting to get an exposure, you know. And when he met Gordon Willis, his films became, you know, now he's working with Vittorio Storaro, who, Google him. I actually got to sit in on an interview with him, with some of the guys from New Plaza Cinema. I was the tech person. All these old guys, I'm the tech person. I thought that was fucking hilarious. But it was cool because like I recorded it in gallery view, and I told Max, the historian, to record it in speaker view, you know, and this way when to edit it, he would have two versions to cut, you know, with. So yeah, you know, like if I had known more, if they had, because they're boys, and I'm going to say that I was not involved in any of the prep, so I didn't know what questions they were going to ask or who was going to ask what. So I could have done a lot more and done almost like a TD job, a technical director job, and switched, you know, like you can remove spotlight, you can add a spotlight, you know. I tried whenever someone was asking Vittorio a question to have them and Vittorio on the screen and then remove the spot, you know. It's just that kind of stuff, you know. You can get a little creative, but I don't know where I was going from there.
It's okay.
Guys, thank you so much. Please send me a request on Facebook if you use it, so I can follow your progress. I don't do Instagram or Twitter. I'm sorry.
It's okay. I don't use Twitter either. Twitter,
like Discord, you know.
Twitter's the Facebook of celebrities.
Twitter is its own government right now.
Is it really?
Yeah.
Anyway, don't get me started on politics. I love you guys.
Yeah.
Thank you. I wish you all the best. Please send me a friend request and please stay in touch. I wish you all the best.
Thank you so much, Lori.
Thank you.
It was fun. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Ciao, ciao.
Thank you.
All right, now that she's gone, what's your actual opinion on her?
Love her.
I love Lori.
She's awesome.
She's so cool. She's like,
I want to pick her brain.
You still want to pick her brain?
Yeah.
She said specifically, don't go in with that kind of approach.
No.
Like, be prepared to offer money. Or, wait, did she say that, or did I read that somewhere? Like if you want to get somebody involved in a project, go in prepared to offer money and don't go in with the pick your brain kind of mindset.
Okay. Noted.
I don't know if she said that or if I read that somewhere.
Makes sense. Yeah.
I like when you said that, my first thought was like how like I've never really like picked somebody's brain before. I've just mostly just grabbed my phone, grabbed the camera, and just went and just did things. And then so in high school, even like when I was in 10th grade, all like the seniors in the class were like, "Yo, Ritchie, how do you put a title on the timeline?" I'm just like, "You don't know how to put a title on a timeline?" And like, it was just like, it was weird because I messed with everything in whatever software or whatever settings around the camera, the white balance, the ISO, the shutter speed, messed with all that, just playing with it and just like fiddling. It's even like on your phone, like you have, you know, your pro setting or whatever, you can fiddle with your shutter speed, you can fiddle with your aperture and white balance and all that. And same on cameras. but like that's how I learned everything. Like all like mostly just self-taught things, and then little tips I picked up from like just working with people. Like make sure when you're shooting like log footage, make sure it's a little brighter and not darker because it's harder to color grade when it's darker. But you should always try to get it as perfect as possible when you're shooting. But that's just mostly what it's about. Just really playing with things and learning like what you're best at. See, like I'm best at editing and like filming it, but I'm terrible at like staying on track while I'm shooting, because without direction, like without a set direction, like if I just go shoot something, like I'll just go shoot it. I'm not like, oh, well, let me pull out my script real quick that I wrote last night and let me see what I'm going to say for my vlog. Like I just kind of just do what happens. But it's a lot more different when it's like on set or like film related stuff. So it's honestly, every single part of this is so different and so unique. That's what makes it like fun.
Yeah.
Because you have so much to play with.
Yeah, it's always fun to experiment with stuff. Like, oh my god, I can't believe I'm bringing this up. But my first video that I spent the most time on was, I think, it was some stupid video that I edited in Wondershare. And I think it was like, I tried to make it like a real estate commercial in Sims 4. And like I had like the elevator music playing in the background. I had like I literally just booted up the game and screen captured like the house that I built, and just made it like a real estate commercial. It was so freaking stupid. And then my first actual short film, it took me like 3 days to write the script, and then I filmed all of it in one day. And like for my speaking parts, I had the script like right there off camera next to me, like on the ground. So I would read it, say my line, look back again, say my line, and just back and forth and back and forth.
That is exactly how I did my first video project in high school. That was literally an assignment that we had to do. Like our teacher was like, hey, you need a conversation between two people over the shoulder shot. And it has to be, I think it was like 1 minute and 30 seconds. So like we had to set up tripods and cameras, and we had to shoot it all with one camera. So it wasn't like a 2-camera shoot, it was just one. So we would shoot all the first person's lines first.
Yeah.
And then we put the camera on the other side and shoot the other person's lines. But when we were editing it, I was like, this is so stupid. Like, and this was like when I didn't know like anything, like really like minimum. Like that was like my first freshman project. So I was like even watching, I was like, this is so stupid. Like, because it was just dragging clips into the timeline and like cutting them. Like it was like the most, like it was really simple. But then we had to do other things. Like the second video project, I think we had to like recreate a scene from like a Marvel movie. It was like
God.
It wasn't like CGI or anything. It was just like, it was mostly just acting and like getting the shots. Like, because he was just trying to teach us like shots. So it was like, we had like a shot where the camera was like down here. Like I don't really know the names of shots, but I know if you will tell me what they are. But like we had like, of course, like wide angles and like really like close ups where we had to like pan up. It was so disgusting. Oh my God. But it was a learning experience. So
yeah, that's how it is in the beginning.
Playing with it, like testing things, and you can think like, oh, that looks good, but I want to improve that, because you're never going to get like the perfect shot unless you're using like some kind of robotic arm with like an RE, and like you're the most amazing and talented cinematographer ever. But if you're not that, then just getting it close to perfect is enough.
Yeah, and I think something that every cinematographer at least starting out, is worried about is they put all this time and effort into this project and they work on it for so long. And I'm sure this is true for content creators as well, but you work on it for so long and then at some point you're like, nobody's going to watch this. Why am I even doing this? And and that's what my short film Revelations is about. It's about a guy who like gets all dressed up. He goes outside to record a video, and then like it's me playing the guy, and then I have my inner self, who is like another like me as another person off camera, and then eventually it cuts to me, and my inner self is telling me, dude, you suck at this. Like, whatever I'm doing in the video, my inner self is telling me, like, no, you're not even that good at what you do. Just stop doing it. And then eventually, like, my inner self and myself find some middle ground. And it's like, so when are you uploading the video? And I'm like, I don't know. And my inner self is, like, a different personality of me. Like, the guy making the video is in, like, jeans and a dress shirt and a hat, and then my inner self is in, like, jeans, a leather jacket, and, like, a completely different side.
I'll have to show you something. I feel like it'll make your story better. Just, like, more visually appealing. But since, I think because with our Launchbox package, we were supposed to be given the Adobe Suite. So if you don't have the Adobe Suite, I can show you how to do it. But if you have it, it'd be easier because I know how to do it in Adobe the best way. But basically, there's a way where you can put two of yourself on the same screen in the same clip. I don't know if you know how to do that, but I can show you how to do it.
Like
so that way,
yeah,
like basically like. It's like, let's say that this empty water bottle is shot here, and then you cut the camera, reshoot it, put the bottle on this side, and then you edit it. You have to crop it, like you would crop it like right down the center or like close. So that way it looks like there's two in one. But if you want to get like more fancy, then you have to and you want to keyframe movements, you have to actually go frame by frame and keyframe your fingertips, and it's a really tedious process. But if you're just gonna sit in a chair and just talk and look at each other, it's just a simple crop down the middle. But I know how to do it in Premiere Pro. If you want me to show you how to do that, I will show you how to do that, because it's not that difficult. It's just shooting it. You have to shoot it on a tripod and not too far apart, because if the lighting changes, it's noticeable.
Yeah.
So
I had another podcast episode where I talked to an indie filmmaker, Dylan Clark, and he makes a lot of horror films, and he'll sometimes upload behind the scenes and editing processes of it. And I kind of get what he did. He filmed the set with nothing on it first, and then he filmed it with the actor there, and then he filmed it again with the edits. So you always have a still background that won't change no matter what, and then you just insert your enhancements as needed.
Yes, that's the way to do it.
Yeah, I've never actually tried to do it, but I kind of get the gist of what he did, and I can definitely figure out how to do it.
Right.
The most clones of myself I've ever made in one shot was 5 of me. That was the most I've ever done, and it was annoying. I had because each clone had its own movement, and I positioned myself in each shot to the point where it wouldn't interlap with any other of me. So it was just a fun little thing to mess with. It's not one of my friends did a short film on it. It was called Shut In. But I don't really see myself using that in a short film unless it's something like what you're trying to do, where you're talking to another version of yourself. But I just don't think that's something that I would typically use in a film. But I guess like music videos, stories where you like multi-personality is always like really cool to see, like the same person in the same like shot.
Yeah.
It's like some people are just like, oh my god, that's so cool. Like, how do they do that? Because they don't know. It's like people who don't know how to do it don't know. But now everybody watching this knows how to do it. So
Yeah. Yeah, because the original idea was to have both me and my inner self in the same shot with just a split screen down the middle. And I had like a neutral background picked out where, like, if I split it in the middle, then it would look even. But then my computer died, and that software was lost. And then I got Cyberlink Power Director, and I didn't know how to do it in that because it was a brand new software to me. So I just settled for what it was. I can link you guys that as well if you guys wanted to see that. I think it's on Facebook. I don't know if I put it on YouTube.
I like the idea of a different aspect of your personality being a different character, but still yourself, you know, and just portraying that, having the costume change, and I like that idea.
Yeah, keep in mind, this was in 2016. I just graduated high school, so it was good at the time for me, but looking back on it with the knowledge that I know now, I cringe watching it.
Hey, that's fine. It all happens. I look back at my old stuff and I'm like, oh, like it's gross.
Like, even with my YouTube videos of video games and stuff, I look back on the very first one that I did, and like, not even on this channel, I used to have a flat screen TV and a camcorder. I would stack the camcorder on a bunch of books so it was the right level with the TV. I would just zoom in, and I would just record a video game like that. It looked awful. It looked god awful. Oh my god. Go ahead.
Since we're talking about like ideas and shorts, I actually had like an idea. I literally just thought of it. I was literally like, I always take a walk in the morning, so I was walking and I was coming like into my front yard. I just stopped for a second, and an idea hit me, and basically it's about a kid. It starts out as a kid. He basically lives with his family, but they do something to him, or like they like mess him up some like mentally, like mess him up. Like there has to be some kind of fate that is there, but it leads into him killing his entire family, like a kid killing his entire family. And then he has to take on the responsibilities of all the adults in the house. So it could either be something funny, or it could be something drawn out into like a mega series. So this kid takes on the responsibilities of his parents because he doesn't want anybody to know that he killed them. So he goes and learns to do taxes, learns to work jobs, and he's like growing up. But later down the road, he has a kid and a wife, but he's still like actually being like actively being looked for. So he finally gets found, and his wife and his kid doesn't know, but the kid finds out, and his kid gets messed up, and like basically the cycle repeats. Like that's the story.
Oh, cool.
Like, so like it could be something that's like easily a comedy where like this kid like kills his parents and he's like freaking out trying to figure out how to do taxes. Or it could be like a movie, like literally like a whole series, or like, you know, something. But that's something that like I'm like starting to write. So like
it'd be cool if you did like where you start the movie where you just show a kid trying to learn taxes, and you're like, why is this kid trying to learn? And then he's trying to do all these different things and you don't know why. And like you start to like unravel that possibly the reason he's basically orphaned is because he killed his family, but that you just don't spell it out for the audience. You kind of let
So like
clues,
maybe
like he tries to hide a bloody knife, and you're like, wait a minute. Maybe
so
that's
like
too much.
the
of a
movie
clue, but-
starts out with him trying to learn all this stuff, and then it slowly eases into the big reveal where his entire family is dead, and he's been
And
doing
then you
all
realize,
this.
yeah. And then you're like, well, why'd they die? And then you're like, maybe he did it.
I like
that would be that's a really good like intro for like I guess like if you were gonna film it movie style and not series style, if you were gonna film it series style, you would have to open it in like the kind of epilogue format where he's getting traumatized.
Yeah.
And you know, at the end of the episode, him like, you know, about to like kill them. But you never see him actually do it. It's just the beginning of the next episode, like him like looking at like the graves where he buried them in the backyard.
Right.
Kind of like the beginning of Elite on Netflix.
I've never watched that before.
Oh, okay. I won't spoil anything.
But I feel like it's a very like stretchable idea with like a lot of like different, I guess, possibilities. Like it could be taken so many different ways, but I'm like trying to write it in a way where it's still flexible. Like if you want to flip the script, it's possible. And then I have another idea. I'm not going to share it because it's like I haven't started writing it yet, and I haven't seen a movie like it yet, so I'm keeping it to myself for now.
That's fair.
Until I get a script started, I can't share it because
you don't want anybody to take that idea.
Yeah. The other one, if I see somebody do it, I'm just gonna be like, it's okay. I can do it better than you.
Yeah, I have an idea for a film too that I'm not gonna share, but basically, this is what I can say about it. I'm making the audience think it's one genre, and then I'm completely flipping it to a different genre. Cool. So, like, I'm making people think it's a horror film, but then it switches to a romance.
Interesting. Cool.
Because here in Traverse City, we have the Grand Traverse Hospital, which, if you've ever seen Ghost Hunters, it was actually featured because it's actually haunted.
Sounds scary.
So I'm a paranormal investigator. Content.
So perfect setup for the horror aspect. So yeah, hopefully in the spring I'll be able to get that project started.
Yeah,
that's a cool idea. I like that.
Yeah. Yeah, and if we're all on Facebook or LinkedIn, I can show you guys too when it's done.
Yeah.
Yeah. Let me, I'm going to show this now because if we started talking about ghost stuff. Beautiful spirit box. It's like the radio thing with the.
Cool. Bring that.
But I have like a bunch of. All my stuff is like over here, like cameras, everything is over here. But yeah, I can't wait to like make some like really memorable like content like for people to watch. Like I want to be like comfortable, like I guess when it comes to making content, like because I know there's always like the two sides of making content where it's like you want to do this, but your audience wants this. So it's really hard to like find that like that medium where like you're comfortable pleasing them, but also yourself when it comes to content. But for me, it's difficult because I'm doing like so many different things and uploading so many different things just to see, you know, what gets the most views. What do I like doing the most? So I started doing paranormal stuff, and I actually released a video. It's like 45 minutes long if you want to go, you know, watch it before you go to bed and get spooked out if you want. But like it was really fun. Like it was like because I wasn't focused on the investigation. I was more focused on like capturing everything. So that was like, I guess it was more like a test for me, like to see like how well I could do like doing the investigation. And I also had somebody there with me, so I had somebody to film because it's really hard to hold a rig and film yourself while investigating.
Yeah.
Like it's just not gonna happen. It won't look good the way you want it to. And like even if you do it that way, tripods are like heavy and big, and they're hard to move around. And like, you know, you're still trying to be like investigating, and it's a lot. It's a lot of stuff going on.
Unless you're trying to film it like, unless you're trying to film it to make it look authentic, like the Blair Witch Project, where it's the actors and actresses holding the camera and it's them going through all this.
Yeah, it's more or less just like trying to capture evidence, not really trying to make a short film.
Yeah.
Like, because like, I guess the story in it, well, the content in it is, you know, try to get the audience, you know, curious, try to get the audience scared. So like, that's the goal with that. But if you're trying to make like a horror short film, I wouldn't go investigating. I would just stage it. Like, but like, since I'm like actually looking for content, I'm doing everything I can to make it authentic, like, authentic content. Like, because I know people fake ghost investigations.
Yeah.
And that's like not cool because it's fake.
Yeah.
But like, I'm trying to do it with like actual equipment, actual cameras where I can like capture, you know, things, multiple camera angles. So if I capture something one angle and it's not there the other angle, it's kind of like, what is this? Like, it gets the brain turning, and you know, it's cool content, but it's like dangerous to step in. Like,
yeah,
it's dangerous, but I don't really care. I'm a dangerous person. I love, you know, I love, you know, taking risks and everything like that. Just not financial risk, except college, because yeah.
But then you're investing in yourself.
Yeah, if you're gonna invest in something, make sure you're gonna use it before you buy it.
Yeah.
Like, eventually
I want to get the camera.
Yeah, eventually I want to get a better mic because all I have is a Blue Yeti Snowball. Yeah, there we go. Yeah, I want to invest in a better mic because, I mean, even though this sounds good right now, it can always be better. Like, this was just a cheap. This was all just a cheap like $50 at Best Buy.
See, I want to get another microphone too, but like, I don't know. Like, I'm not using my microphone all the time. Like, I only use it for like Discord calls, and like, I would be using it right now for this, but my computer's broken, so I'm not using it right now. But I mostly, you know, are playing other games by myself or with other people on like a completely different console. So I don't know.
Sarah, have you done any films or shorts or anything?
No, just I have ideas in my head always. And then just what I made for my class at Purdue, and then yeah, I'm like, I always feel like I have, but it's really just stuff in my head.
Any ideas that you want to share?
I kind of have an idea for a short film about I really like artsy stuff when less is more. Like, the dialogue doesn't really tell the story as much as the scenes and the aesthetic, and kind of letting the audience's imagination figure stuff out. I want to do something about like revenge, but never really spelling out exactly what's going on, but just seeing how somebody like they go through like a bad breakup, but then they kind of lose it a little bit, and then they sort of ricochet between people and then try to get revenge. And I thought of calling it Ricochet. And just I love like flashbacks and memories and stuff, when, you know, like the echo sound, and you can't tell if it's a dream, you can't tell if it really is a memory, or if it's something they did dream about, or if it's something that they're imagining, and sort of piecing it together. I used to hate that in movies where it's like, just tell me, you know. But then when you look at film and see it, when you see it as an art, it totally takes a different turn. Like, remember, did you guys watch Easy Rider when we had to?
Yeah.
Yeah, like, I hated that. The ending kind of hurt my stomach
because
I was so invested in the movie, but at the same time I was like, it's really symbolic. And if I wasn't studying film, I'd have been like, why did I just waste my time watching that, especially considering the ending? But the fact that we're trying to look at everything and I don't know, I just absolutely love it. I want to do a film that has, you know, like the noir, you know, with that everything's really dark, and then also something that's like moody and romantic and deep and also dark. Like there's just so many. So yeah, I really haven't done any. They're all just ruminating in my head.
I kind of felt that way when we watched The Conformist. I thought it was more of a noir film,
Right.
like just because of the camera shots and stuff.
You wonder what the directors. I like to watch like the reviews or read reviews and watch interviews and stuff, because I always wonder what the directors, where their mind was at. Like I wish Stanley Kubrick was alive still. Like I just want to find out, especially with The Shining. It's just like, it's so brilliant. And then people are like, oh, it's a Christmas movie. If you look at it the right way, like he always has red and green in every shot, you know, and like it is during the holidays, but it's never spelled out that it is. But it's just, oh, I just love that stuff.
Yeah, they kind of did that in Sixth Sense as well. Like, if you pay attention, like, red means the color is like the color of death, and in every shot, there's always, like, something that's red, like a red doorknob, a red napkin, or something, and everything is staged so perfectly to make you think that he's actually there, and they finally reveal that he's never been there.
Right. But then red, too, it's like when you're alive and you have blood, it's red, you know, so it's almost like it could be looked at like in a weird way, like it represents life, even though he's not alive. There's just so many different interpretations. That's what I love about film.
See, Sarah, something I was gonna say, like I know that you said you have like a lot of ideas. I feel like that, like right now, your best bet would be to like really figure out like the whole story, like do like a whole script and like play with that script until you have the resources to shoot it. So because you can shoot a script as many times as you want, like as long as the story is solid, you can reshoot it again and again and again until you like, you know, you're happy with it. So I feel like if you're ever stuck somewhere and you have an idea, write it down, figure out the story like to the point where it's like, you know, every detail, like every camera shot, you know, everything. And then when you have the resources, then you shoot it. And then if you don't like it in 2 years, you can reshoot it again, like even better. And like, I feel like that would be like, because that's something I wish I did. Like, because I have all these short films that I'm like missing scripts for because I just did them off the fly. So it's like, I wish I would have done that so I can go back and I can reshoot them with like completely different shots, different dialogue even. And like, I definitely think that's something that, you know, you should do, and anybody, honestly, because I'm regretting it.
I felt the same way with Revelations.
Because the short films, the Kidnapped and Snap, those two, the award-winning ones, those are archived and they're away. Like those are, the scripts are done, and I really don't want to reshoot those because, you know, they're what they are. So, but anything that hasn't, you know, gone above and beyond, I want to try to make it go above and beyond. So that's why I wish I still had the scripts for everything.
Yeah, I'll take that advice for sure. Yeah. Did you guys? Oh, go ahead.
No, it's okay. Go ahead.
You know how we had to watch? Are you, Adam? Are you in the same class in a different section than what we're in right now? Because we're in
Intro.
What is it, Ritchie? Film. Yeah, introduction. Internet.
Yeah, something like that.
Intro to film, I think, is my next class. Right now, I'm in English Comp.
Okay, because we have to watch like all these shorts, and I didn't know that Napoleon Dynamite. John Heder or John Hess. They were students that worked together on a project, and then they made the short film Pacula or Peluca, which is Spanish for wig. but they made that, and then out of that came Napoleon Dynamite, which, you know, obviously was a hit. But I thought it was so cool that like the students, you know, they networked and then they worked together, and then look what it made. Because I was like, oh man, that's what they say, like network early, and you know, with like-minded people, because we obviously have a lot of classmates that aren't really taking it seriously, and I don't even really know why they are in it. Because
Like you're in a film
Yeah.
school. Why wouldn't you? Like why
Yeah.
wouldn't you take it seriously? It's an amazing thing.
right,
hmm I guess the main thing, like what I came to Full Sail seeking, is like just good people to work with, not just like people like with a big head that they think they know what they're doing. Like people that, you know, want to, you know, get more involved, and people who want to work together, because I already know how to shoot a movie. Like I already know that. Like
Yeah.
so what I need is, you know, the people to do it with, and
Yeah.
like, you know, the means to do it. So that's why I came to do this, and just so I can have a piece of paper with my name on it, so I can get jobs easier. So that's the reason I came. Like, of course, I can always learn more. Like, I'm sure I'm gonna learn more over these next couple months.
Oh yeah.
But like the basics, like this whole class I'm taking, like the intro class, I'm just like,
it's rough.
yeah, I'm just sitting back, and I'm just like, I already know this. Like, I already know like this. Like, I understand like the, you know, watching the short films and doing these little discussions and everything and talking with everybody, but like, it's just like, I feel like I'm just not truly learning anything like I should be. Like, even if you are coming from like somewhere where I've come from, where I've worked an internship for 2 years and like had like 4 years of like high school experience and more experience like from content creation, like I wish that there was something for me to like learn too.
Yeah.
Like even like small little tips, like even just like small little things, like, oh, here, make like a 30-second short with, you know, your iPad or your phone, because we're in college, we all have we all have a phone, or we all have an iPad at this point.
Yeah.
So, you know, go use them. Like,
Right.
I wish it was a little more involvement.
Yeah, even the discussion board, it would be, you know, since it's not necessarily teaching you in this course anything, but it'd be nice if it were to be more like people tried a little harder, because even when you try to open up the dialogue, you get no response. It's like, what are you do? Why, you know, you don't do the bare minimum in school for film. Like, do the bare minimum to try, you know, if you want to do something that's just like cut and dry, like finance or something. But
Yeah.
this is all about trying to keep pushing the limits. And then you try to start a conversation because there's not much more in this course. And it just like flatlines. You're like, okay.
Yeah, it's the worst
I wish
when
there
you
was.
have to. It's the worst when you have to post something and then reply to it, but nobody else posted anything.
Yeah.
Like that's
Like
the
I
worst.
try to, like, when I have like genuine questions where people ask me like, hey, you know,
Right.
like they suggest something, I'll like do my best to like go back to it, because I'm doing a million other things. But like, it's like just this class in general, I guess, like in a way I am doing the bare minimum, only because I already know what I'm doing. So it feels bad, because I got all this spare time, and like it's just like I have nothing else to do, and my computer is broken. So I got like 200 and something gigs of footage from the falls that I was talking about the other day. Like I have all this footage that I can't offload and look at because I don't have a computer. So
that's hard.
it's like, it's something that I'd be doing, but these past couple days I've been just going outside, walking, and like just doing things. I mean, it's nice. It's nice being away from the computer, but like it's like a part of me, because it's what I do every single day. I wake up and go to the computer, as unhealthy as it sounds, go to the computer, do my thing, check footage, edit footage, check emails, send emails, and that's just how it is. Like, trying to find somebody to work with.
Yeah.
I mean, you can always like find somebody online to work with, because that's what Dylan Clark did. He found somebody in LA that to write the score for his films, and I mean, I'm sure he pays them, of course, but like, you can find people online to do that stuff with you and to work with you.
It's like, I guess I really don't need somebody to work with me. I need to work with somebody else, because like,
let's all do a project.
I'm down.
I mean, please. But it's just like, when it comes to projects and like making money, unfortunately, you need like funds to do these things. Like, you need, you know, some kind of like financial barrier and a budget when making a movie. Everything I've ever made, I don't have a budget. I just use what I have. I use like everything to, yeah. So I don't need like to rent gear. All I need is more people to work with and like more ideas, like to, you know, like, I guess it's like bounce ideas off of other people and, you know, write scripts with other people. And, you know, just overall, just like there needs to be more collaboration. And that goes for like the whole Full Sail course too. I feel like there just needs to be so much more collaboration. Like, the discussion board just ain't where it's just not where it's at.
No.
Like, it's interesting for like the first 2 months for me, when I wasted my time on courses that, like, you know, were important, yeah, but like, I didn't like this is gonna sound so bad, but I didn't pay like $45,000 to like sit on a discussion board and like post about, like, you know, what happened in this film, what was the character development. Like, I did not pay $45,000 to do this. I want to do something else like this. Like, and it sounds selfish, but honestly, like, when it comes to film, like, it's all about experience and networking. So you have to work with other people.
Totally.
Like, it's important to, you know, meet other people and work with other people instead of just sitting on your own making a post about character development.
Right.
Like, you can read about that. You can go read about how somebody developed their character, but you can't read about an experience that somebody had on set and get that same feeling if you were actually there. So I feel like that needs to be like, even if it's working with your family or like somebody around you, because like, even like smaller, like, you know, small 30-second projects where, you know, you have an interview with somebody around you, or, you know, you have an interview with yourself, like, just something to like, and then give us a prompt, like, give us something, challenge us, make us put like a green, you know, star in our background somewhere, make us, you know, say this word in the video, like, like, put us to work. Like, I
guess we'll have to do that on us three.
I mean, I'm down for that. Like,
me too.
Like, every month we just send each other challenges and then present it. I'm perfectly fine with that.
Me too.
That'd be fun.
Yeah.
And then even if we can get like other students who, like, you know, are looking for more as well, bring them into it too, and we can, you know, start something. And then, you know, I feel like that'd be cool. Even new people that aren't taking Full Sail's course, like, if you're interested and you want to participate in these challenges and you just want to shoot with your iPhone, you know, join us. Like, we can figure something out. I feel like that'd be like really cool to like,
that would be cool.
Meet some like similar like-minded people.
Yeah, that'd be really awesome. Maybe we can start like a Facebook group or something.
Yeah.
Start a Discord.
Start a Discord.
Start the Discord group.
Oh man, but yeah, I think if it wasn't for the end of the week meetings with Lori's class, I probably would have never reached out to you guys to be on this podcast. But like, I think that there needs to be a little bit more connection. And heck, if it wasn't for this podcast, we wouldn't be pitching these ideas to each other, and we wouldn't have the idea to send challenges back and forth or work on a major project together in our spare time.
True.
Which I am definitely down for. We should totally do that.
Yes. Yeah.
Like,
Well, I gotta teach you how to edit on Premiere Pro, man.
yeah, probably. Well, that's the thing. Like,
I mean,
we've networked with each other, and we can help each other.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So
I like
that'll be
that.
awesome. Yeah.
Because, well, I feel like everybody really needs to know how to edit on Premiere. I was gonna do like an editing thing on my YouTube channel, but I just like my computers won't want to do that. Like, it's just so slow and won't want to screen record me editing, because editing as is already like so much for it. So, but I would like be extremely interested to teach everybody how to use Premiere Pro, because it looks like a lot, but it's really not. Like, everything's right at your fingertips, and everything's really organized, and you can pretty much customize it to, your liking.
Yeah.
So I know that you said, all your tabs and everything are like easily like accessible. It's the same on Premiere. It's just you have to make sure you set it up on the right tabs. Like, I guess cutting footage is easy. You can even, there's so much. I won't go into detail, but there's so much you can do on there. I've been playing with it for 5 years, so
cool.
It's fun. I love editing.
Maybe we should have a YouTube channel together.
That'd be cool.
Editing tips with Ritchie, storytelling with Sarah, and cinematography with all of us, I guess. I don't know what I would be good at.
It'd be cool to I work a lot better with people in person, so we'll all have to figure something out where we can all get together in person.
Yeah, that would be awesome.
Mm-hmm.
And make something. Well, what we should do is we should figure out something organic, something that we haven't thought of yet, and come up with something, plan it all out, write the script, do the storyboard and all that stuff, and then when we finally come together in real life and we shoot it, we already have the whole plan organized.
True.
I feel like that'd be cool.
That would be cool. And then we could do a weekend or something and just get an Airbnb and film it.
That would work.
Yeah.
Yeah, because Sarah, you're in West Michigan. Ritchie, where are you?
Georgia.
Okay, so we use our taxes, fly him up here, and we all get an Airbnb together.
And actually, my friends manage about 12 Airbnbs right now, and they own 4, and I'm the cleaner for them, and so they kind of let me stay if I need to, and so I could always
bring everything I got.
Yeah, I mean, and we have some 8-bedroom houses and that I clean, and so I could and they're actually they do a podcast, and they want to make short film, and so they'd be really cool to even have them jump on board.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that'd be awesome.
My suitcase is gonna be filled with camera gear and not clothes.
You can buy your clothes here.
These are my carry-ons.
Yeah.
I don't want these at the bottom of the plane. Thank you.
Yeah, right.
Mm-hmm.
Get a Pelican case for all your stuff.
I have a Pelican. Well, I have sort of. It's like an Apache case. But here, I can grab it real quick. Let me move this so I don't break anything. It's heavy, man. It's
Okay.
Oh, wow.
So, and then all my expensive stuff is in there. So, my drone, my camera, my lenses are all in there. And then I got a little camera bag, and then another handheld shoulder bag for just SD cards, extra mounts, and just other things. I have so much, and I don't use it for anything. It's so sad.
You will. I'm sure you will.
You will. When we all meet up together, you're going to use everything. We're going to take advantage of every piece of equipment you have.
Mm-hmm. We're going to have so many shots.
How does this work? We need to use this.
What's this button do? Blows up the drone.
Oh, God.
Your back is to me, and the explosion happens, and you're just like, that was the self-destruct button. Why do you have a self-destruct button on your drone? It was for a film that I never made.
It was the decoy.
Yeah.
This is the real drone.
Oh, that'd be awesome. Oh. So I think to wrap this podcast up, I'll ask one more question, and we'll be done. What is
Okay.
what is your favorite film and why?
Sarah, you can go first.
If you need time to think, I can go first.
I mean, I love the Lord of the Rings trilogy. My mom passed away, and that was like our favorite thing, especially on Christmas. We'd watch all of them, and then they came out kind of around that time anyway. But besides that, it's kind of cheesy, but The Secret Garden is probably my favorite. Also, something I used to watch with my mom, and now I watch it with my daughter, and she cried when the credits rolled, and she was like, "No, they're happy tears." I like the movie. It's fantasy. It's like odd because it's a little bit dark because she's orphaned, nobody loves her, and being a kid, going outside, like imagining this is your house and always pretending I found my own secret garden and stuff. It's always kind of been, and now to have my own child and we get to play with that idea, and I get to, like, it's okay for me to act like a kid again. And so,
Mm-hmm.
and that's what filmmaking kind of is, like playing pretend and exploring, the corners of your mind and your own secret garden in your head.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
I mean, I'm honestly like, from somebody who enjoys film, and you guys are probably gonna think this is really weird, but like, for somebody like that's done this for a long time, I actually don't really watch like a whole lot of movies, like, at all. Like, I watch like little to none, and when I do, it's like a big movie, like Spider-Man, or like Marvel movies, or like some of the projects that we've had to watch for Full Sail. But honestly, like, I really don't watch a whole lot of movies because I feel like in the end you're going to pull from that movie. Like, you're going to think of this movie in that shot, and you're going to be like, oh, well, I want to do what they did. So it becomes something where it's not yours anymore. You're taking it from somebody else. So like, everything that I've ever done is all from here. It's not from anybody else's movie. So it's just how I work, I guess. I work better when it just kind of comes out, or like, just using, just the standard for everything instead of taking it from a movie. But honestly, my favorite movie is like the whole, like, I really like the Spider-Man movies, like the stories and stuff like that. And like, I watched all of them. I really just like just the actor in it really good. All the actors in all the Spider-Man movies are really good, and the story's really good. And they're going to like keep going with it. That's why I like it. Like, they keep adding more and more and more. So like, if I were to say, like, I feel like that would be like my favorite of the films that I have watched. But
Okay. My favorite film has been the same since middle school, I think, when I first saw it. But my favorite film of all time has to be The Green Mile. Like, the cast alone makes that movie. The storytelling behind everything, just the overall suspense of everything, the hatred you feel for certain characters, the loving feeling you feel for certain characters.
John Coffey.
John Coffey, the hatred you feel for Percy.
Mm-hmm.
Like, if a movie can make you feel like you want a character to die or to suffer,
Yes.
then I think that's kind of loops back to what I want to do. I want to change something inside somebody. Like, every time I see this character, I want them to suffer because I know who they are.
Mm-hmm.
Or I want them to go on and do good things. Yeah, the camera shots in The Green Mile, like when they're escorting John Coffey to the electric chair and the camera's following them from a top view, that was a really awesome shot. Like, all the way leading up to the conclusion where they don't have a choice. They have to put John Coffey in the electric chair after he's done so much good Like it really hits. It really
Yes.
hits.
It's true. I like that. I think not enough movies do views from the top.
Yeah. Yeah, like have the lightning on, the flashing in the background while the camera is following the guard slowly.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's an incredible movie. It's always been
Yeah.
my favorite.
It is. I saw that when I was young too, and I remember thinking I felt like I was a little. Maybe I shouldn't. I don't know if I was mentally prepared for it, but I remember feeling like I grew up a little bit after the movie.
I know that feeling.
Yeah.
I've seen a lot of clips of that movie, like a lot of little like in increments of that movie. It looks like a good movie. I want to watch it, but I watched like all the important scenes. So
man. Even the clip with like the little girls, like I just remember feeling so traumatized.
God.
It just literally like it was so disturbing. Like I just, but at the same time, it is just a movie. But then you just think there are crazy people out there. But then it's just like I was kind of mad because it pulled me in so much that like it made me use emotions that I was so uncomfortable with. But then when you think about it, like that makes the movie.
Yeah. Like, yeah, at the same time, you know it's a movie, but at the same time, you still feel that. Like, you feel the emotion on John Coffey's face while he's sitting there holding the girls.
Right.
Like, oh my God.
Your brain doesn't really know. There's a part of your brain, I think it's like the amygdala, that doesn't really know that it's not real. It experiences it just the same. And you're like, like, why'd you do that to me? But then you're like, well, I guess it's art, you know?
Yeah.
But some directors, I don't appreciate it. Like they really do it just because it pushes the envelope. I can't stand that. There's no real art there. You know, it's just like, well, because I can and because it evokes emotion, I'm going to do it. But then it's like,
But are you passionate about it? Like,
yeah,
that's
exactly.
the thing. And the electric chair scene where the sponge was dry, that wasn't an over-exaggeration. Like, there have been executions that have gone that wrong before.
Oh, jeez.
Like, I watched it on AMC first, and it had, like, little story notes at the bottom giving just little insider information, and the director wanted an authentic execution for that, and that wasn't over-exaggerated. Like, some executions have actually been that horrible, and reading that while watching it, that hit me as well.
Oh gosh, yeah. Your stomach kind of turns.
Yeah. Yeah. And that
so
just made
I got a
Percy
question.
even more.
I got a question for like I guess us as a group. Like what kind of films or like content would you guys like be interested in making? Like the most interested in making?
I mean, I would say, like, because I don't want to take any cliches from other people's films, I want to make something that is different. Like, like the second you watch a horror movie, you know that the blonde girl and the football player are going to be the first two people to die without even like watching it. Like they're going to sneak off in a tent and have sex, and they're going to be the first to die. And then this kid's the smart one. He's going to be the one to kill the person in the end. Or when you watch Marvel movies or something, it's like, oh, another Spider-Man movie. What, does he swing from a building? And does he fight this villain and stuff? Like, you know what's going to happen in those movies. So I want to make something that's very different, that nobody would be able to sit there and guess what's going to happen next. So not a specific genre, but like a concept like that.
Or you could take like the traditionals and like flip them.
Sure.
So like I feel like that would be like somewhat interesting. Like it's so much, so like there's so many cliche like details that go into like a video, like what you said, like the football player and the blonde girl. Like what if they didn't do that and they did something completely different and they died blast? Like completely
the director makes the audience think that that's going to happen, and then it completely turns it around.
Or they're the killers.
Yes.
Or a horror movie where nobody dies.
Right.
That,
I kind of like
or
that.
it's not even a horror movie. It was a dream.
It's advertised as a horror movie, but it actually isn't.
That
That's
is
genius.
funny. Yes, yeah. I really like when a movie, it just, you can just like the artistic feel to it is just so like it's obvious, you know, some the HD and it just looks so real. It doesn't, you know, I love when something makes me feel like, it's art. Like I paint, I play guitar, so it's like that musician, that artist side of me. When I feel those wheels turning just from watching a film, like I just love it. So something that has some type of almost like psychological thriller aspect to it in a maybe a more subtle way, but then also, even no matter what happens in the movie, I would love to have at the end, when the credits roll, that feeling where you don't want to get up from your seat yet because you're still kind of processing it.
Right.
And then whatever song is playing kind of helps. Everybody else leaves and you're just like, I need to sit with this for a minute. But then also it almost calls them to action in some way that's kind of like, because obviously our world, we need people that are going to take action and do things and follow through with what they say and make a change in some way. So it's not just like, oh, let's have everybody stop using water bottles, but something that's really like something deeper, like be who you are, be true to yourself and follow your, you know, like what is your moral compass? What are your values? And like, do you follow them? Do you stick with them? Or do you just let yourself be a carbon copy of everything you watch online? And, you know, it's like, something that kind of does that, even if the movie doesn't seem like it's about that, just leaving somebody with that feeling of like, who am I though? Like, what would I do in that situation?
Like a secret message in the movie that only a few people can actually see. Like it
Yeah.
hits them.
Mm-hmm.
I like that.
Make some kind of question.
Just got a whole idea.
Good.
We'll talk about it later because I feel like this could actually be something that we could work on together as a group.
Okay.
I won't mention anything right now, but
perfect.
All right.
I'm so excited, you guys.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. This podcast was actually really fun. I liked what everybody brought to the table. It's sad that Lori had to leave early, but I feel like she brought a lot of stories and knowledge and definitely comedy to the table.
Yeah.
So yeah, thank you guys so much for watching this episode of GBB, The Good, the Bad, the Blank. I definitely look forward to working with you guys in the future. Like, some way we will make it happen.
Yes.
We will schedule Zoom meetings and we will have a script writing day or something where it's just us working on a story together. We'll figure out all the planning stuff, and then when we finally come together, we will make something. So
something. We need to find actors too. We need to find like actors.
I mean, we could
like
be the
proper
actors
too.
We could be the actors.
Yeah,
I've been talking to people too, like girls I work with that are just fascinated that I'm studying film, and I'm like, well, would you be willing to act? And they're like, yeah. And I'm like, you just have to actually be able to. But then the couple that I clean for, my friends and stuff, they would be down.
Cool.
What are you focusing on, camera? What are you doing? There's nobody right here.
I think there's a ghost in your closet.
I would not be surprised. I'm over here.
The ghost is like, I have something to say.
I don't know. Apparently there's somebody right here. Oh, now it's focused on me. Anyway.
They left. They found you out. They left.
No, they're back.
All right. So yeah, thank you guys so much for watching this episode. We will see you guys in the next episode. Hopefully, I'll have something soon with these guys.